Welcome, friends. Today, we're doing another fragrance rotation for the week ending the 5th of June, 2022. Summary. So, this week, I decided to rotate my collection a little bit. I had all my lighter summery scents towards the back of the cupboard. Now I've brought them to the front of the cupboard, and all my spring, slightly heavier fragrances, which were at the front, are now at the back. Excuse me whilst I hydrate. So you will see I did this in time for Wednesday, which was the first. So the first two of these are a little bit heavier than the rest, and you will notice that, I believe, in my choices. Got a few here I haven't worn before. Not ever, but just this season. So, excuse me. Let's have a look, shall we? On Monday, I started the week with this. And this is Pontaccio 21 by Ferret. This is a aromatic patchouli. It's a little bit in the style of Pavarotti, which is never a bad thing. It's got rosemary, clary sage, it's got suede, but the main thing for me is patchouli. I get this soft Italian patchouli. I love the way the Italians do patchouli. I've said this loads of times. It's fantastic. The thing to remember with this fragrance, though, this bottle more than this fragrance, is you see this here. You see this is the lid. You see in here this plastic insert. It's some of the worst plastic in the history of material, right? It is awful and it stinks, right? It absolutely stinks of bad turn of the century plastic. It's what it smells like. That's the type of thing that would take thousands of years to decompose. It smells like decomposing plastic. It's weird. Anyway, fantastic fragrance though. It's got this faux leather sort of, I don't know if that's like crocodile leather or it's just like, but it's definitely faux. Don't worry about that. But it's a brilliant fragrance. Patchouli, rosemary, sage, a little bit of florals in the heart, maybe some rose, bit of jasmine. It's nice. Tuesday, the last day of spring in my collection, and I decided to wear a new purchase, and this is Paprika Brazil. Now, for those who remember, I bought this when I went to Manchester, and I'd been wanting this for a while. It is fantastic. It's a little bit spicy at the top, but the main note for me now that I'm wearing it quite often is the iris. It's a big iris perfume. It's nicer than Iris Ukiyo-e. And it is beautiful. It is perfect for cooler spring days, and we've had an up and down week. It was raining for about the first 3 or 4 days, and then it came out really nice on Thursday and Friday. And obviously this was Tuesday, so excuse me, I wanted to wear this while I was in the rain, basically. And Iris is perfect for the rain. Iris and Vetiver, perfect for the rain. Next, Wednesday, the day I rotated. You rotate. And I decided to wear something which doesn't get any mention in the community whatsoever, but it is absolutely brilliant. And this is Arden for Men Sandalwood Cologne. Excuse me. This is like an aromatic fougere type of thing. As big lavender, big herbs at the top. Very fresh, very invigorating. I've put it into a decant. The decant is precariously perched. Give us a second, I'll just move. That's a 10ml decant. I use quite a lot of it. The good thing with like these is that you can carry the decants around with you, and you can just like reapply throughout the day if you want to, which is always good. It lasts about 3 to 4 hours, and it smells amazing. These are 125ml bottles. These caps, right, while plastic and crappy, I actually quite like them. Very light, very ethereal cap. You can see through it at the bottom, but not at the top, strangely. Great quality fragrance, though. Brilliant. You can get this as like a cheapie. You can pick this up for next to nothing. I think this is a slightly older bottle. In fact, I'm sure it is. But the newer ones smell just as good. And it's a Cologne anyway, so you're not... It's like the performance on this might be a little bit better, but it's not going to be so much better that it's worth paying silly money for the prices. I got this one in particular from a Nuge. It does do well for a Cologne. 3 to 4 hours for a Cologne is fantastic, you know. So that's what I wore on the first day of my spring, Duck Spring. On the second day of Stuck Spring, I decided to wear this Boss Elements. Now, when I put this on, I kind of regretted it. From the bottle, from the cap, and on paper, it's a big lavender fragrance, right? With some depth from some leather and a little bit of like citrus, like citrus herbal sort of thing going on at the top. More citrus than herb. Then when I put it on my skin, it was completely different. Big suede, big leather with like a brightening from the lavender. And it felt like the lavender was supporting the leather and trying to round it out. And it was like fresh at the top. It was a completely different fragrance. This is one of the reasons you should always test things on skin. And I thought I may have made a mistake here because this is more a leather fragrance on me than it is a lavender fragrance. And I thought, ooh, for deepest summer, it might not be great, that. And it was warm on Thursday as well. I say warm, it wasn't hot, it was warm. So yes, this is what I want. I'm in two minds about whether to wear it, like, again, you know, like in the summer. I might wear this more in the spring and the autumn, I'm not sure. Friday, I went with something I have not worn before. Not this year anyway, and I think I only got it. In like March. And this is Sport de Pagarabane. This was a partial from a Nuge again. This is brilliant. This reminds me of like tennis, you know, like Roland Garros and Wimbledon, like the French Open and Wimbledon as well. It's got that kind of grassy, summery, white shorts, white t-shirt kind of vibe, you know. It's fantastic. I really like this stuff. It's got a big moss in the base. Very citric at the top. Let's have a spray. I was talking to Ramsey and I was like, oh, I think this might be a little bit heavy to wear in summer. And he was like, what are you talking about? I wear this in the Texas heat. You can wear it in the Northern English heat. And I was like, yes, you might be right. And indeed he is. Very mossy, very mossy. Definitely got that sport outdoors kind of thing going on, you know. Made by the late Rosendo Mathieu. An absolutely fantastic fragrance, which should remind you of Boris Becker's wins at Wimbledon in the mid-80s. That type of thing, you know. Late McEnroe, early Becker. It's an interesting way to define something, isn't it? Yesterday I wore one of my favourite ever. Do I want to call this a designer house? I do want to call them a designer house, but let us know what you think about them being a designer house. Are they really a designer house? I don't know. This is Roadster from Cartier. This is one of my favourite, if it is a designer, this is one of my favourite designer fragrances. I love this stuff. It's fantastic. The bottles, Cartier's bottles are always brilliant because they're glass makers. This is supposed to be like the part of the watch, and then this little thing, not a tit, but it's meant to be this. You know, the thing on the watch that you turn. This thing here. Excuse my hairy arm. That's what that's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a watch, but the fragrance itself, mint bergamot. It's got that fresh, lively, but it's also got a bit of creaminess to it as well. I always felt like there was a patchouli in this, but according to the notes, I don't think there is. It's not easy to pin down. I mean, it's definitely in that Cartier style. It's Mathilde Laurent who makes all the fragrances for Cartier, and what a job she's done. What a job she has done, by the way. This is the perks of having an in-house perfumer. And Daniela Andrier, who used to be Daniela Roche, she's at Prada, which is definitely a designer. Those two have built. You know what you're going to get from a Prada fragrance. You know what you're going to get from a Cartier fragrance. You know, same as like Jean-Claude Arnault or at Hermes. You know what, you can tell the style. The fragrances are different, but you know that you're going to get a good quality and a good style. Cartier for me is one of the best designers of the century. Cartier Roadster. Cartier the house, I suppose, as well, if you put them in designer. Let us know what you think. But a minty, bergamoty, slightly earthy thing going on there. Anyway, today, my scent of the day. Excuse me whilst I reapply. The sprayers on these aren't great, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not a fan of the sprayers on these, but the fragrances are sensational. I really like the bottles as well. And this is Paris Edinburgh by Chanel. I've been dying to wear this, and wear this I have. Just lavish this on yourself. It's not too strong. The sprays aren't very good, so you're talking 10 sprays to get like 4 sprays of something with a decent spray, you know. Really good quality, lavender, woody, herbal at the top. It's got strength, so there are, as you can imagine, in Britain there are like cold summer days, and basically that's what it is today. That's why I've got the light on, to be honest with you, because the light outside's shocking. It's very overcast here. Excuse me whilst I hydrate. But this is very, very good. I really like this. I really like the Biarritz one as well. I think I'm going to pick that up. Excuse me. I really like this stuff. Let's have a smell. It's got this sort of citrus at the top. I'm not sure what it is. It might be bergamot. I don't think it's lemon because it's not zesty enough. If it is, it's like an Amalfi lemon. It's got that creaminess, but then it's got like, it goes down like through like a lavender and into some woods. Now, I don't want to like sit and review it on the channel, but this is like one of the first times I'm wearing it. It might be like the second or third time ever. But I'm very much enjoying it. It will need reapplying because it just will. It's that type of fragrance. I think it's an eau de toilette. It is an eau de toilette, but I treat these as colognes. The new one, Paris, is nice, but it's not going to be my thing. I think I'm going to get the Paris Biarritz, so maybe you can expect to see that. Anyway, these have been my choices for the past week. Thank you very much. Excuse the talking outside. There are people in the back garden having a nice time. And I will see you again soon. Bye.